Hi everyone, this is Shayna Hiller from Build Your Personal Yoga Business. And today I'd like to discuss the top 3 things that you should always avoid / never do when teaching yoga. There are several things that obviously are going to contribute to your success as a yoga teacher and some that will perhaps detract from your expansion. These just have been coming up for me lately, so I just wanted to discuss these top 3 because they can hopefully assist you on the path. So the first one is subtle. It's very interesting. The first thing that you want to avoid at all costs when you are teaching yoga is turning your back on your yoga students. And I actually mean that literally, like actually turning your back and facing another direction. This is this is subtle. So let's see, how can I explain this? So if you're demonstrating a posture, right? There is a time and place that you can turn around in order to make a point or demonstrate. But often you want to make sure that you're facing your people, and even if you have to mirror, which we'll get to in another video, but even if you have to demonstrate using a different leg in order to create an example for the posture, it's not so much about, oh, it's wrong. It's an energetic, it's body language. When you're not facing your students and you're trying to explain something, first of all, your projection is going to the wall or to the other direction. And I feel, because I've taken classes where the teacher, their back is turned to me, and I feel like they're not even, they don't even care that I'm there. So as a student. So it's interesting, it's a subtle energetic that when you turn your back on a student, especially ongoing, like if that's a habit of you, if you know that you turn around in order to demonstrate postures on the same side, I would encourage you to turn back and face your people and think of this as your skill. You're building your skill of holding space. Pay attention to the teachers that you go to and that you enjoy and their body language. It's not just about what you say, right? When you're teaching yoga, that dictates your success as a yoga teacher. It's also about your body language and your energy. So don't turn your back. And if you have to for, a couple of moments in order to demonstrate a posture, do that. But then always know that when your heart and your being is facing your students, you kind of can, scale the circumference of the room and walk around throughout the rows, throughout the people. But if you're in the front and your back is turned, it's like, okay, I feel like this barrier, this boundary. So that's one thing that you never want to do when teaching yoga. Number 2 is repetition of the same phrases and the same verbal cues. And I know that we get stuck in our ruts. I'll speak for myself, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need a new word other than, shift, or other than lean, or other than extend, or I need a new phrase other than, okay, now open your heart as you inhale, and exhale, go back to down dog. It's like repetition is cool sometimes because it helps our students get into a flow and a rhythm. They kind of know what to expect. It's a sense of grounding. And as a yoga teacher, it can sometimes take us out of the moment. And again, I speak from experience. I speak from witnessing this from my clients and my students who are also yoga teachers. So sometimes, for example, I was taking class recently, and not only was the yoga teacher's back turned to me, but this teacher was repeating something that was being repeated the entire time. So for example, you can always take child's pose. Okay, I know I can always take child's pose. I heard you. I heard you the first time, I heard you the second time. And you got to trust that your students hear what you say and you don't have to repeat it all the time. Like it's sometimes I feel that yoga teachers project what they would do in a scenario onto their students. So I say make reference to something and try not to repeat it, and also stay fresh with your vocabulary, even if that means going online and finding a thesaurus, a couple days before you teach, or the night before you teach, or an hour before you teach, and writing down and getting clear with some new verbiage, some new lingo. Because I don't know about you, but for me it's like, oh, drift into plank position, oh, spiral my thigh, hinge from my hip, oh, revolve my chest forward. These subtle verbal cues can make a significant shift in the way that your students actually relate to their body. It can make their yoga practice more successful, which in return is going to make you a better teacher, because it works both ways. So get fresh with your vocabulary. Make sure that you're staying present with what you're saying and you're not on autopilot, right? So there is I include a worksheet on 50 inspiring and unique verbal cues in my newsletter. So if you're not signed up, you can get the ebook underneath this video. Click the link for the free ebook, and that's automatically going to connect you to my mailing list, and you're going to get free information on topics such as this. Numero tres, the third thing that you want to avoid at all costs when you're teaching yoga, even if you think that you are being sneaky and, subtle about it, is checking your phone. Don't check your phone, and please don't take pictures of your students in Shavasana. Listen, I'm guilty of it. I've taken pictures of my students in Shavasana because I wanted to post it on social media, because it looks like, wow, like how relaxing, and people are going to want to have a piece of that. And it's true, and I got a lot of likes on it, and it's wonderful. And then I flipped the switch. I put myself in my student's position, and I'm like, if nothing else, take a picture of me in Warrior 2. I mean, don't do that either, but I'd much rather be photographed, right, when I'm present and I'm like in my body and I'm awake and aware. Shavasana is a time for deep healing. It is a deeply healing time, and if you're taking pictures of your students, there is an energy, even if their eyes are closed, even if you think that you have succeeded and then having no idea that you did it, it's subtle. And also, I suggest having your phone on airplane mode when you're teaching yoga. I have my phone on airplane mode every single time I teach yoga, so that you're not tempted to like go over and pretend that you're playing your music or switching your music up, but you're really checking your Instagram. You know who you is. And it's all good. This is part of the journey of learning and discovering. And know that the energy of doing that, it detracts from the energy of the room. I can clearly tell when a yoga teacher is sidetracked or looking at their phone. It's impossible to hold exceptional space and be a phenomenal teacher when you're also detracted. You're getting paid for your energy, your wholehearted, devoted, present energy, holding space, body facing the room, no distractions from your own personal sphere for whatever the given amount of time is, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And the more that you can truly see your teaching as a meditation, as an opportunity to serve, to really let go of the self, you will experience a lot of miracles. I can pretty much guarantee you that. So I hope that these 3 tips of what to shift, avoid when teaching yoga serve you on your path. Again, click the link below, get the free ebook, and I'll see you in another video. As always, any questions that you have, please add them in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I have a strong feeling it's going to support you in ways you could not even conceive of in your mind. I'll see you soon. Namaste.